And the cry I gave was not for the physical pain, but for the intrusion into my privacy, the violation of my rights to myself. I drew the sheets over myself and lay quietly, afraid to move, thinking of nothing, my mind an absolute blank. When the sensation and feeling came back with a surge, my first thought was that I could not hear even the sea now. I wondered why, till I realized that there was another sound drowning it. I looked at him. He was lying on his back, legs flung apart, snoring loudly and steadily. Welcome friends in today's video, and in this video our topic is The Intrusion. It is written by the Indian novelist Shashi Deshpande. She was born and grew up in an upper middle class family. She was a simple housewife and a busy mother. In 1968, went to stay in London for a year. In London, she felt a bit isolated. She didn't have any friends there and her husband away all day. So when they returned to India, her husband encouraged her to write about the experience in London. She wrote her first short story, which is The Legacy, in 1972. But today our topic is The Intrusion, another short story which is written by Shashi Deshpande. In the starting of the story, we can see that the narrator is giving us the description of a place where she and her husband went for their honeymoon. She is telling us tiny houses, almost miniature ones, but spick and span. A little path so narrow, and if we stretched our arms, we could touch the houses on both sides. Why had we come here? So from these lines, we come to know about the place they visited, but there's a question arising in narrator's mind that why they came here to spend their honeymoon. This is not the place where the narrator wanted to come. Later, we are informed by the narrator that it was a fishing village. So the narrator thought, if this is a fishing village, then where is the sea? If this is a fishing village, there must be a sea. And suddenly the narrator saw the sea was right in front of them, but they are still walking. The narrator is then saying, I found it difficult walking in my high heels with my heavy sari squashing damply round my ankles. And then, after some time of walking, finally they reached to their destination, to a square, squat building where they will stay during this trip. We can so far find the narrator is not comfortable at all with the journey, and now when she is in a room with her husband, she is also feeling uneasy. We can see the man who came to attend them was opening the window so that fresh air may enter the room. But at the same time, he was giving a weird smile, a strange smile looking at the narrator. And it was indicating what they have come to do here. Definitely it was not the romantic kind of or very pleasant indication to a newly married woman. And even when the person, that attending person, left the room, she is still feeling uneasy. Now you can say why the narrator is still feeling uneasy. Because she wished, instead of giving that a strange look, that man could have talked to her politely, because now when he's gone, she feels silence in the room. It became a very silent room. And then the narrator's husband told her that only lucky few people can get the chance to stay here. Then the narrator began to wonder. She began to wonder about those few people who had come here before them, because it was not the place for any decent or well-mannered family. Bedsheets were messy and pillows with the unchanged dirty oily covers on them, and she imagined if she tell a servant to change the sheets and pillow covers, they might give her the same uneasy look and find some bad meaning out of it. So the narrator stayed silent. Then we can see the narrator is thinking about the exchanging words between two families. When she was still not married, it was that moment when her husband's parents were posing their demands. Her husband's mother said, "We are looking for a girl, simple but sophisticated. My son is working in a foreign company. His wife must be able to entertain and mix with foreigners." The narrator thinks then that simple and sophisticated. Was I that? And no one even asked her that if she agreed with the marriage proposal. Her parents said it's granted, so she must has to respect the family's decision, and that's how the Indian tradition or Indian traditional society is all about. It always teaches us to respect our elders, their decisions, but when it comes to a marriage, it's not only the parents' decision alone that matters. So she came to her father and asked him, "Why did you agree with the proposal?" Her father's answer was very simple. He said, "I have two more daughters to be married." And after that answer of the father, she had no choice but to marry the man chosen by her father. And now, after marriage, they're in a same room, in a same place, but with different intention and longings. Now, why their intention is different? Because throughout the story, we can see that the narrator wants to go to the seashore, enjoy the beautiful sea. On the other hand, her husband again and again tries to seduce her. He tries to make the physical relation with her. Her husband does not care about the thoughts of his wife, her feelings. He is just applying the so called patriarchal powers to seduce his wife, the narrator. And whenever the narrator is trying to avoid his sensual intentions, he becomes angry. He says, "You are not an innocent little girl. What's the problem with you? We are married now." But the narrator said that we don't know each other. How can I be physical with you? That's not comfortable for me. Let's go towards the sea. I want to see the seashore, enjoy the sound of the sea. Though her husband kept denying her, saying, "We will go in the morning. It's already dark now." And then the narrator thought that, yes, in the morning. But before the morning, there's always a night. So she was hoping to survive from her husband somehow at night. And then she's watching a dream that she was lying on the beach where she so longed to go, and the seawater is touching her feet. But when she wakes up, she realizes that she was on a bed, not on the beach. And it was not the sea that was touching her feet, it was her husband who was touching her body. And he was forcing his body on her. The narrator is saying that I was too frightened to speak. My voice was strangled in my throat. I put my hands on his chest to push him away, but it was like trying to move a rock. I could do nothing. She says that his movements had the same rhythm, had the same violence like the sea, but she could endure the waves of the sea because the sea would hurt her, but never humiliate her like this.